I've had a few requests to show off my current camp build, which is what we're going to be doing today. Hey y'all, it's been a little bit. I've been resting up after being ill and losing my voice this last week. Still a tad bit under the weather, but I can talk again, so there's progress. Yay! Anyways, I'm actually planning on moving my camps here soon. I have made my home here on the edge of the Mire and Cranberry Bog because it was super convenient for the last video I made, just a cap away from Camp Venture. And before I break it down and try something new, I figured I'd give you a little tour. First off, I wanted to show you what this site looked like before I built here. This is definitely a fixer-upper. It's a broken down little homestead that had a few features that really drew my eye. For one, it's a spot for random encounters. I've had cargo drops, Mr. Messenger, and even Mr. Herder, which brings a sheep squatch this way. I like a camp that has a little something interesting going on in the neighborhood. This house is pretty roughed up. I got this place for pretty cheap, and me seeing if I can give it a decent facelift was a challenge I was super up for. The important thing is a good foundation to build around and some decent looking aesthetics to work with. There are a few different lootable containers here too, and wanted to see if there was a way that I could incorporate the varying different levels. I did not build around the side structure because my radius didn't hit that far. I love the weather vane over here, and this hot tub as well was a huge bonus. And this witch can't complain with a house that has a few pumpkins hanging around too. Alright, it's time to show off what I made. Oh, looks like we're lucky today. This tree over here does have a frequent chance of spawning a mega sloth. I get it about half the time. It's my second favorite creature released in Fallout 76. Okay, as you can see, I tried really hard to make this into a rebuilt home and try to use the existing structure just as my bare bones. Some homey touches outside, like my water purifier, to make it inviting. In the lower portion, I left it mostly alone. It's my swampy little shower room. There's also random food and useful junk that spawns in here for when I'm a few mats low on something. I closed up the holes with a few appliances and patched up this hole in the wall with some posters because it was a little too breezy down here. There's even a few good things that spawn in the side building too. One of my favorite features at this place is this hot tub with actual water in it. These candles were burnt out, so I added a few more for a little extra ambiance. But watch out for the biters if you decide to take a dip. That satellite and those hanging lights are a part of the building that was here before, and I'm a fan of a bit of free lighting and curb appeal. I really want those lights for other builds though, please. I do like using a little bit of mixed media on my buildings too. Gives some character, I feel, especially since I don't have any wallpapers yet, and I'm not the biggest fan of the ones that are available in the Atomic Shop right now. I absolutely love these lamps here. Okay, let's head inside. I had to match things up a bit to get what I wanted in here, and it's important to me that the first thing a visitor sees is the shop, because that's usually why they came here to begin with. Nice little seating area with a view when the shop is open. To be honest, I've neglected my shop for a few months. Not much on my shelves, and I haven't really put much care into the prices yet. But I'll get a pricing guide out to you soon, and we'll go over all that then. And on display is Salt Bae, my salty tenderizer. I hope that a plan for this comes out someday because I'd love to get a legendary version. Time to check out the upstairs. First, I want you to look straight up. See that roof? I tried so hard to get it to extend over to the rest of the original house. I built and rebuilt, tweaked and adjusted the whole foundation and flooring setup over 20 times trying to achieve just that, and I had no luck. The broken bits of roof and the overhanging tree were just working against me, so we have an open roof in the loft. And so that means I get to sleep under the stars. Well, I guess under the trees is more like it. The branches are pretty dense. Okay, right upstairs we have my little kitchen area. This is a loft-style home, so everything is pretty compact when it comes to the amenities. This is actually where the edge of the old home is. It had a whole bunch of sharp boards sticking out, so I placed a bunch of paintings on here just to patch the hole. Sometimes you just gotta put a painting of a happy little tree up there to hide the flaw. Okay, off from the kitchen is my workshop. It's nothing too fancy, but I do like having the metal walls to separate the workroom from the living area. And as the Mire doesn't get a ton of light, I put in some supplemental lighting, and my tulips are just thriving. These pillars help with the appearance that there is some support going on, and having a moderately believable build is something I have at the forefront of my mind when setting up my camps. Off the workshop and above the store, I have my piano where I can go AFK and play some sweet tunes while I have shoppers. And the satellite that the previous homeowners left juts right through the wall. I don't mind it too much, just wish I could get some more channels. Outside we have a little bit of an upper deck, mostly to add a little bit of interest to the eye from the outside, and I keep my generator tucked away up here and out of the way. It does get hit by scorch beasts every now and again, but it's mostly left alone. Let's go back inside into the living section. I do like to use different flooring to kind of show the separate areas. And of course I snagged this globe while it was mistakenly free in the shop. It looks pretty good in here. In the seating area we have a cozy little fire and some brain fungus at the ready. This house has a level 2 safe and it's right underneath my lounge chair here, so I can loot it whenever I please. The loft was made with a roof on a half wall, and it took a little bit of maneuvering to get those posts here so that it looked supported. But we don't have spiral staircases yet, so I just made my own. I tried a few different things, and in the end I really fell in love with the way this one looked, with the suitcases stacked just so. Up to the loft, I used the previous structure's broken ceiling as a shelf to display a few things. I have more awards, but I haven't gotten around to displaying it all. I like this nook a lot. It's not too fussy for sleeping quarters, but it does the job. Ooh, I almost forgot. Outside and in this window here, right underneath the loft, is where I added a few of my collectibles. Just a few things to catch the eye. And I guess that about does it for this camp. It's time to move on to greener pastures. But really, I'm getting the build bug, and I just want to move closer to the center of the map, maybe get some more customers in. I mostly get folks stopping by that are just dropping off their technical data or in the neighborhood for daily events. And I'd like to sell a bunch of stuff I've been hoarding. I have so many extra plans and excess items I've picked up from my technical data video and this next deep dive that I have coming up, and so my stash is overstuffed. I'll probably have a vending tips video coming out pretty soon. One thing I'm definitely going to miss about this spot is how dark the nights get here. The Mire is awesome for that. So what do you think? Do you like builds like this? I really love when people incorporate in-game buildings or terrain and find interesting ways to play around with the materials we have. Let me know if you like this place. Also, would you be interested in watching me build my next camp spot? I have a couple ideas rolling around in my head that I want to try. Would you want to come along for the ride? Let me know in the comments. And feel free to ask me anything about how I did this or that or whatnot. I'm happy to answer questions. And if you haven't already, be sure to check out my showcase of the 3 of my favorite camps that I did before. I went ahead and linked that one down below. Thanks for checking out my home, and make sure to like and subscribe if you're interested in more Fallout 76 content and guides, or you just like hearing me ramble. I'm Wickedy. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you out there in the wastes.